Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm taking a look at the Canon PowerShot G7X, a very popular point and shoot, especially with vloggers, selfie takers, all those kind of people, me. And it's well known about the articulated screen and a very, very good video camera this. But I'm going to take a real look at this and pick out a few points of the in-camera features that I think really do need to be recognized and really make it a market leader. So our first close-up of the actual camera. First thing I like to point out is that the build quality of this is fantastic, as you can see close up. Even the flash is a pop-up. Just nice with a mechanical trigger like that. Now the G7X also shoots in not only JPEG but RAW and JPEG. Quite well known with DSLR shooters. Also for your DSLR shooters, you can see there's a full manual mode on the top there. Also aperture priority, shutter priority, and a whole host of other settings, preset settings. And that on the outside, that's an exposure, dedicated exposure compensation wheel. Powering it on, you can see that it pops out just like most point and shoots, but there's also a dedicated ring around the outside. We'll get to that in a little moment. Now, having a look on the actual in-camera, I do have it set for video mode, and with that wheel on the outside, that's actually also doubling as an exposure compensation. That's not affecting the aperture, that's just purely the exposure compensation. But obviously once we go to different modes, that outside wheel will actually do other things. Looking at it though through the viewfinder, or should I say the LCD screen, it doesn't actually have a viewfinder on here. It's all electronic through the screen, and as you can see, switching it over to auto mode, that wheel around the outside all of a sudden becomes your zoom. Just like a zoom collar on a zoom lens for your DSLR. Most kit lenses have that in there for a DSLR. However, depending on what setting you've got the camera on, that collar around the outside will do different things. If we switch it round to aperture priority, that's AV for those of you who haven't shot with a Canon before. But as you can see, all of a sudden that collar around the outside of the lens becomes your aperture ring. So this one goes all the way up, all the way down from f2.8 all the way up to f11. And switching it around to shutter priority, yeah, you're absolutely right, it now affects your shutter speed on the camera. And at times like this, when you're in a dedicated setting like this with aperture priority or shutter priority, the great thing is you do have that dedicated exposure wheel on the top, so that still affects the exposure compensation. And just for added clarity, if you press the menu button which pops up on the screen when you're affecting your exposure compensation, it does confirm right there on screen what your exposure compensation level is. A real point of note with the G7X is the autofocusing feature within the camera, and as long as you don't even touch it, the autofocus will work on virtually every single setting you've got. I'm now in video mode, as you can see. We're in my kitchen. I'm going to take the zoom right the way to the end, purely because I didn't really want to be moving my DSLR over all the way. I've gone all the way through the optical zoom and into the digital zoom. As you can see, I'm on 17 times, so it's not exactly going to be the best quality. But as you can see, with the touchscreen availability on it, I can select what I want to track. I've focused on that bottle of red right there. It's now searching for it, as you can see with the little square. If I go back in, it doesn't quite get it, but by the way, yeah, the touch autofocus will cancel itself every now and again, and it is a bit of a trial and error. It's not absolutely foolproof, but I mean, you're trying to tell it what to focus on. But when you actually get what you want to focus on, as you can see, I'm moving the camera around, and that is tracking what I've selected, even moving in, and it'll affect itself. Having a little bit of problems getting hold of it again now. Obviously with a bit of a busy background there with the toaster, but switching over. And bearing in mind that this is actually almost all the way in, that's kept that in focus. I hope you can actually see this on the render. It's managed to keep it in focus all the way through. Let me get in just that little bit more, and granted it's not going to be the best quality, but as you can see if I flip over, as you zoom out, and this is the same for zooming in, when you're recording it actually tempers the speed of the zoom, so it does it nice and smoothly, granted the shaky hand slightly, but it actually brings it out nice and smooth so you're not going firing in and out. I thought, seeing as though I was on my way into town anyway this evening, I thought I'd bring the camera along, see how it deals with some real low light situations outside on the street, different light sources all over the place. Please excuse the wire, that's actually to my dash cam that I have in the car. I still haven't quite fitted into the car. So first and foremost, let's compare it to the standard definition dash cam that I have running on the windscreen. Sadly, I don't actually have a party or anything I'm going to, so I can't exactly take any photos kind of like that. But I do have a bit of time, so I thought, why not bring in the camera, have a look in car, and also when I actually get to where I'm going, maybe go up and down a couple of the streets and take that in, see how the video does, and see how it deals with stills in low light. So right now I'm outside the Liverpool Empire Theatre, right across the road from St George's Hall. If you have a little look across there, there's still the installation in there from Remembrance Day. It's now December in Liverpool, but there's still that installation. I actually came down here a few weeks back and took a photo with my Nikon. Gotta be honest, I'm pretty impressed with that. I'm 3 lanes and then another 3 lanes on the other side. I'm 6 lanes away from St George's Hall, not to mention what's in front of it, and the camera was able to get absolutely everything in. Didn't manage that with my Nikon 35mm prime, and took a couple of photos. Going to show you them now. Now also, what I never do is I never put up any photos that haven't been at least through Lightroom and edited. So in the interest of fairness, I'm going to do that now. Chuck that up, let's have a look. And yeah, so far really quite impressed with this camera. I thought the video was the main thing about it, but it does look like it's a really, really good stills camera as well. Now, in the interest of fun and to finish up, I thought it'd be really interesting to see just how good this works on that tripod. I'm primarily a DSLR shooter and a Nikon for that, but I don't know. Let's see how it compares to a DSLR. Now, to be fair, the lighting's not great in here. This video quality probably isn't the best, but with the lack of lighting, I'm waiting to upgrade for a few softboxes, but I'm thinking that the ISO might boost in this, so you might get a bit of noise around the darker areas, but let's have a look. You ready? Let's compare. Nothing changed, straight out of the box, straight onto manual. Let's see it focused. There, it's focused. And wow, I did think that it was going to be good. You can actually see the top of my head now, so there you go. With the DSLR, I don't have an articulated screen or a second monitor with that, so it's not that easy to frame it up when I'm just on my own. This looks to be picking up more. So I'm actually recording the audio off camera to be put in after post-processing. I'll switch over and actually use the microphone built into the G7X. As you can hear, there's probably not as much range or anything like that. Probably seeing it sound a little bit tinny. You can probably hear the sound being bounced all over the place. As you saw earlier, we are in my kitchen, so it's quite a high roof and it's all white surfaces, so it's obviously bouncing off everything. You're probably finding that very annoying. I'll switch back. In conclusion, I think this is a fantastic little camera. It does everything that I guess you'd want it to, for videos, for really, really good photos. You can see from a lot of the source files that are chucked in there as well. The video capabilities of this are fantastic, as you can see from here. Not necessarily the subject, but I mean, you can change the subject. It's a fantastic little piece of kit, but it has to be, because it's not cheap. This is a D3200. Granted, it was an entry-level model, but this was 260. It was 260, that with the kit lens. The kit lens is probably about 50 quid. So let's take that off, that's 210. This is the 35mm lens, 1.8 G. That set me back, let's say around £100. So that was what, 320, 330 pounds. The Canon G7X is £370. Just let that sink in. A point and shoot, which is more expensive than an entry-level DSLR. Wow. But with that aside, I'm taking nothing away from Canon, and it's not because, you know, I'm not making that point because I'm a Nikon shooter. I've been watching far too many American videos. Not because I'm a Nikon shooter, I'm a DSLR, and Canon have done a fantastic job. In all honesty, Canon are best when it comes to video capturing. If you're looking for a point and shoot camera, if you're looking for something that can do video and it can do very, very good images, still images, and also you've got the selfie option there, this is a great buy. Granted, it's going to set you back, but let's think about this. How often are you going to buy a camera? And how often do you have a camera that you've got that's cheaper and it's not quite able to do what you want it to, or the picture's not turned out how you want it to, or the video's not turned out how you want it to? With this, it's a premium product. As is always the case with tech, things get upgraded, outdated very, very quickly. But at the very, very pinnacle of it, you buy cheap, you buy twice. This is a fantastic product. It's a premium product, in my opinion, and it will not do you wrong. You treat it well, and I can see this being up there with the big guys, the quality of it for many, many years to come. So that's my quick little look at the Canon PowerShot G7X. If you are in the market for getting one of these, check the description below. I should have a link there to the cheapest price currently on Amazon. And if you're not already a subscriber, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. A lot more videos coming. As always, thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please give me a like. Leave comments in the description below. Let me know what you liked about the video, what you didn't like about the video. Let me know what you'd like for another video. Any kind of tips and trips you're looking for. Tips and tricks. But above all else, take care, guys. I'll see you soon.